So a man is going viral on X for going undercover as a hot girl on Hinge and getting over 1,000 likes in 24 hours, effectively exposing everything that is wrong with modern dating and dating apps specifically. We already know this. We talk about this on the show all the time. I've talked about it for years, but people are lonely. Like Gen Z has been dubbed the lonely generation. We are not dating. Gen Z is not making friends. Gen Z is not having sex. And I have long believed that dating apps are a driving force behind this. And, you know, if you had a success story, if you met your spouse on one, that is great. Applause. Everybody snaps. That's great. But you are the exception, not the rule. Because for most people on apps like Tinder and Hinge and Bumble, Raya, whatever it is, they are not working. And in fact, the problem is even deeper than that, because I believe that these apps are destroying our genuine human connections and making money doing it. They are profiting off of that failure. And one man on X is exposing everything by posing as one of his female friends. So let me introduce you to one of my favorite follows on X. He goes by Murray Hill Guy, and he has a dating podcast. He almost exclusively posts about his dating escapades and dating in New York City. And 2 days ago, he decided for shits and giggles to create a profile on Hinge acting as one of his female friends, Maddie. And he said, experiment. I'm pretending to be Mads on Hinge for 1 week. I made the account an hour ago and she already has over 50 plus inbound likes. Going to test results and see how lame dudes are, or maybe find her a husband, who knows? Stay tuned. And then here is the profile he created. As you can see, she's super cute, fun, beautiful selfies. The top prompt cracked me up. This year I really want to marry an autistic man. Now, almost immediately after creating this account, his mind was blown by the sheer amount of likes and matches that she got almost instantaneously. He posted shortly after and he said, this is actually more insane than I ever imagined. She is averaging a like every 1 to 2 minutes. I liked back 5 just for shits, and all 5 messaged me some dumb shit within the first 5 minutes of matching. The average man is cooked. So obviously I am watching all of this fold. I am laughing. Everybody online is laughing. It is objectively hilarious, but also it's abysmal and it's sad. And this experiment is highlighting significant issues in online dating culture for both men and women, and why I believe men and women are so at odds.
I ain't gonna lie. I did an experiment one time. Me and my homeboys did an experiment one time, and my homegirl, right? We did that. We did that because we was having a whole debate. We was outside. We was at my apartment complex, and we was on a rooftop, and we was talking about this. You know what I'm saying? We was talking about the difference between men and women. Kevin Samuels was big at the time. It was COVID. It was the pandemic, and everybody was talking about dating this and dating that. And I remember we had this conversation, and I was like, yo, I want to try this. I want to try because, like, somebody was talking about, like, doing this as an experiment. And I was like, I want to try this. And let me tell you. And, it, like, for real, it was like my homegirl. And I ain't trying to be, like, you know, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But she's an average. What do you call it? What did he say? A 6 at best. I don't know. But she was, you know what I mean? She's not ugly, but she wasn't, like, drop dead gorgeous. And the funny thing is, the amount of dudes that was in the DMs, the amount of people that was responding, I mean, it was crazy. Not only was there so many people, it was actually, like, there was a specific dude that I knew that was in the DMs talking about, like, and it was funny because you don't know your homeboys until you see them flirt or try to holler at a girl. I always thought you don't know people until you live with them. No. You don't know people till you see them try and get at the opposite sex or the same. And I'm just like, yo, are these the pickup lines? Is this what you say? And my homeboy, the homeboy that was in the DMs, like, you know, I never told him that, you know, he was talking to me because that'd have been crazy. Me and him wasn't talking. He just messaged. But let me tell you, this guy is rich. This guy's a rich real estate investor that I know. And I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, what else are you supposed to do, though? It's just always cringe. It's really cringe seeing guys try and holler at women. I ain't gonna hold you.
Just for you guys, so all of that content will be there. All right, let's just dive into this story. I am so excited about this episode. There was so much going on here. All right, so back to X. The response to Murray Hill Guy's fake profile has been insane. Even for him, like, he has even been shocked as somebody who almost exclusively talks and posts about dating and modern dating. Like, he himself has been astounded. And he has been keeping everybody updated as he goes through this experiment, but the number of likes just keeps increasing. Just a couple of hours after he made the account, he shared this. He said, "We may be cooked. This is very overwhelming," and it is his Hinge app with 1,000 notifications. And then later in the day, he said it just doesn't stop. No matter what time of day, likes and messages come in every few minutes. Dating apps for men may be a humiliation ritual at this point. I may never use one again. And then to really prove a point, 24 hours after creating the profile, he showed this screen recording of his notifications, and prepare to be astounded. Just look at this. It just goes on and on and on. And he's now done this multiple times since then, because we're now on like day 2, almost day 3 of this, and he's done multiple recordings. It just does not stop. So almost immediately, again, 24 hours in, he has had a few takeaways. Now, most importantly, as you guys saw in that tweet, is that men online are cooked, because attractive girls have to do nothing except to download the app and create a profile.
No, not attractive girls. Girl, if you are a girl that's breathing, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. You don't have to be attractive to get this type of response. That's the, like, oh my God. I would love for him to have done. And the thing is that doing that is a little, you might get canceled, because you're just like, who are you to say this person is ugly, right? But come on, if we was to get somebody who conventionally is considered unattractive, and you put them on there, I guarantee you they will still get so many notifications. Guarantee it. And if I'm wrong, if you're an average woman, comment below and tell me if I'm wrong.
Not even really try that hard, and they are raking in more likes and matches than they know what to do with. More matches than they can even deal with. And then to add insult to injury, he's also been posting about how the guys who are messaging him are not even trying. They're sending boring messages, they're being lazy, they're being snarky, and he pointed out that most of the men on these apps are libs. Soy boys, not my words, they are his, but to be fair, he is doing this experiment in New York City. I am sure that it would be very different if we were in the middle of the country, if we were here in Tennessee. I mean, I don't really know, Nashville's kind of crazy, but the point being, we have to be fair, it is in New York. But on that note, if you are a woman living in New York City, I think this means it is time to pick up the phone and call some movers, and you can do that with my friends over at Pure Talk. Now, you know what Pure Talk's favorite holiday is? President's Day, because gents, here's the inside look of a beautiful Mids hinge. Account was made today. It is never ending. And as you see, majority of guys just like photos. And while I think sending a message could stand out, the chance that you are even seen is minimal. So honestly, just delete the app. So what he's saying is some guys aren't even saying, hey, hello, sup. They're just liking a photo and hoping that the girl will match back. And then maybe he'll send a message or she'll send a message. But even sending a message is not enough to stand out because of the influx of likes that girls like this are getting. Compare all of that to the experience that most men talk about having on these apps, which is barely getting any likes or matches at all, and just spending all of your time hopelessly swiping into the void. And the few responses that they do get back rarely turn into a date, like this guy said a couple of years ago on TikTok.
Dating apps are uniquely depressing from a guy's perspective because you send out all these likes, then only a fraction of those likes turn into matches, then a fraction of those matches respond to your message, then a fraction of the girls who respond to your message you have a good conversation with, then a fraction of those good conversations turn into planning a date, then a fraction of those planned dates actually happen because sometimes things fizzle out in the planning process, or sometimes people flake the day of, and then a fraction of the dates that you actually go on are worthwhile because either you're like not attracted to the person when you meet them, or you guys just don't click.
And that guy is far from the only one. Like, this is the story that I hear time and time again. And also, like, just look at this Reddit post I found. Like, this is worst case scenario, but in a way, it's a similar thing to what Murray Hill guy is currently doing. So this person posted a Tinder experiment with my girlfriend of 3 years gone horribly wrong. And he said 2 weeks ago, his girlfriend was telling me about some of her friends' horror stories on Tinder, and I laughed with her and said, Tinder's way worse for guys, though. She didn't believe me when I told her that most guys get 0 matches, and I wouldn't either. So we decided to play what seemed at the time to be a fun game. Set up Tinder profiles of each other and see what happened. And then the obvious happened. After 1 week, I had pretty much no matches except bots, which is another huge problem for men on dating apps. But on the other hand, she was bombarded with matches and messages, quite a few of them from pretty attractive guys, or at least what I judge to be attractive guys, a lot of them probably more than me. She admitted I was right and that it was an eye-opener, and we agreed to shut down our profiles. But the problem is, ever since, she has grown slightly more distant and cold, and it has now beginning to be noticeable. So now, this is the worst case scenario here, now she's seen what's out there and how much attention girls are getting on dating apps that now she's getting cold, she's pulling away from her boyfriend, they're having all these relationship problems. So the takeaway here with that specific post, do not do this with your girlfriend, or do it, but make sure she's loyal, or maybe this is a test to see how loyal she is. But either way, I think that is just continuing to prove what Murray Hill guy is finding. And one person who commented under one of his now viral posts, it really seems to ring true, especially in light of that Reddit post. But he said, now I understand the appeal of going on the apps as a pretty girl. It is adoration tripping at the level of Cleopatra. It's ego boosting instead of a tangible tool to find a long-term relationship. And it's not.
She keeps saying pretty girl. I really wish they would do like an experiment on average women at the very least. Keep saying pretty girl. That's not it.
No wonder, because Hinge's user base is 60% male. This is objectively a numbers game that is stacked against the average man, which means that men do need to put their best foot forward in order to be seen. They have to dedicate time to swiping, to getting their foot out there. And we will get to how men are not doing that and how it might not even be worth trying anyway. But my point of bringing all of this up is that, do I think that some women use these apps as an ego boost? Yes, 1,000% completely, but not all of them. A lot of women are on there because they think it is the right thing to do, because this is how they feel like they need to meet somebody in the modern age, and they are trying. But I really think that all of this shows a fundamental difference in how both sexes approach modern dating. This is something that we have also talked about before, but men in general, as you are now seeing in all of those screenshots and screen recordings, they just swipe like there is no tomorrow. All day long, does not matter what time of day it is, they are less likely to get return likes and matches, so they just throw out this large net hoping that one of these women will respond and match with them. It doesn't matter if they think a girl is out of their league. They might not even know who they're swiping on. They are just blindly swiping, hoping that somebody will respond. But women are in the complete opposite situation. They are far more selective. They are allowed to be more selective. They're careful. They are specific with who they are giving. They're granting that like. And this also might be an interesting thing to dive into in a different episode, because this kind of reminds me of all of those studies that talk about how men are very willing to apply to jobs that they're not qualified for. They're willing to just be bold and go in and ask for a raise even if they don't think that they're ready for one, whereas women will not do it. They won't apply for a job that they don't think they're qualified for. They won't go ask for a raise, and I honestly think that that's why there is the gender pay gap. It's not because of the patriarchy, it's because of women. But anyway, moving on from that, I just see a similarity there. But back to the point, as one article says, this quote-unquote mismatch in desirability and in behaviors is why swipes do not turn into matches. Now, this is where things got even more interesting for me as I've been diving into all of this, because when I think about dating and when I talk to men, when I talk to you guys, the most common concern that I hear is rejection. The reason why they're on the apps, the reason why they're scared to ask women out in person is because it's rejection. It's possibly turning a woman off to the point that she will call him creepy and me to him. And obviously in our culture, that is a very real risk, and I understand men being worried about that. But on dating apps, that risk is mitigated. You can get rejected all day long and not really know. Like, you'll know that you're not getting matches, but you don't see the women responding to you. You aren't seeing the responses or reactions to you. You barely have to even try. You're not even having to put yourself out there. You just have to move your thumb all day long, and you're casting the wide net. And so to further that point, thanks to these dating apps, I think that there is a lessening social incentive for men to put themselves out there and improve themselves, get more comfortable socializing and being around women, when they can just get on the dating apps and shoot their shot without fear of being rejected to their face. Because before dating apps, if a man wanted to meet a woman, if a woman wanted to meet a man, you had to approach them in person. You had to go to a bar, a gym, through friends, at church, and if you got rejected, you felt that. It was to your face. It's awful, it's uncomfortable, and there was of course the risk that that rejection was going to be in public. And you guys might hate this and it might make you feel uncomfortable, but to some extent, I think that that social cost of rejection was actually good. Because again, it gave men incentive to improve themselves, improve their social standing, improve the way that they were asking out women. And also, that's not just about men. Before you start screaming at me at the comments that I'm coming after men, women enduring rejection is also a good thing. It's just part of life. You're overcoming challenges, you're growing, you're becoming better, whether it is in work or family or relationships and dating. All of that is objectively good, and dating apps have removed that. I also think that they're playing a large role in Gen Z not going out and socializing, not hosting parties, not drinking, not going and doing in-person activities. It's because there used to be a drive to go do those things so that you could meet somebody, but now why would you do that when you can scroll on TikTok, slide into somebody's DMs, and swipe for hours on Hinge? So I think it really is all connected. Now you guys...
Let me tell you something though. I think the average woman, when it comes to game, talk about rejection, most women are really they can't take rejection. They don't know how to take rejection. And they never really put themselves out there. They never really try to talk to a guy. And when they do, oh my God, the game is horrible. The worst game in the world. The worst game in the world. But then the thing is that they'll still get a guy. They'll still pull a dude. Not because they're good at talking to guys, not because they know how to talk to guys, but because guys are easy. Most guys are super easy. It's crazy how easy guys are. And I really feel like guys should really like hold their standard a little bit higher. Now look, I ain't no dating expert. Far from it. But I will say I do know how to pull a girl at the very least. And I think that the number one thing, and this goes for women too, but the opposite end, men need to only talk to women that genuinely likes them. I'm gonna say that again. Men only should have talked to women that genuinely likes them. Now, there are signs that a woman likes you. If you say something to a woman and she does not show any type of interest, like if you're bad at understanding social cues, I don't know how to help you. But if she shows some type of genuine interest, she likes you. Talk to her. Press a little harder. But if you compliment her and she's like, okay, she do want to know, all right, whatever. Leave that girl alone. Leave that girl alone. And the crazy thing is, if you keep pressing, you might end up getting her, but you're gonna have a bad experience. You're gonna end up having a bad experience. She's gonna end up having a bad experience because she doesn't like you. And the minute y'all get into an argument, she's gonna be like, "You came into my life, sir. I wasn't looking to be in a relationship." Kick rocks.
You guys know that I can go on tangent, so back to the point that I was trying to make about 90 seconds ago. Throughout history, women have always been the pressure for men to improve their lives. And dating apps, the point I'm trying to make is that they seem to be destroying that. Because now, a guy can get rejected 50 times before breakfast and nobody knows. He probably has forgotten about it by lunch. Like, there's no shame, there's no harm in shooting your shot, there's no harm in going after women who are out of your league. It's actually just a game. The entire thing has been gamified, which is exactly what these apps want. I mean, Hinge, this is why it's so ridiculous. Hinge prides itself on being, quote unquote, the dating app designed to be deleted. We want you to meet somebody. We want you to delete the app, but it's actually designed to make you addicted. Just like Tinder, just like Bumble, just like Raya. They are all literally owned by the same company and they have the same goals. Catholic Engineer on X commented and said, when will people realize that Hinge and other similar dating apps are designed badly intentionally? They have no incentive to find you a spouse. They make more money the longer you are single.
The longer you are single
and on their platform. If they match you with somebody compatible, they lose out on you as a revenue stream. And here's where it gets even more sinister, because I don't think that this is laughable, actually, because one of the main ways that they continue profiting and making money and roping you in is by hiding people algorithmically who could actually be good matches for you and then making you pay to hopefully see those profiles or get access to those individuals. They have gamified it by allowing endless swipes, hiding people who you might be good for, and then making you pay to not even really meet those people. It is so insane. One guy said a big issue that needs fixing is the pay to win style that Hinge has. Assuming you have the money, being premium lets you skip the like and throw infinite roses into the win. And a rose is like, oh, you only have a certain amount of roses. So if you give a woman or a man a rose, it's like, oh, he really likes you, but you can just pay to get infinite roses. He went on and he said, normally I am fine with premium models for apps, but profiting off of lonely suckers seems cruel. It is. It's sinister. And he goes on and he says, these prices are insane. 1 week subscription for $20.
I tried every dating app that was available to me, and there were actually some surprises for what actually works. But I'm going to start with tier 3, which is the absolute worst apps. First up is Field, and as you can see, it calls itself a dating app for the curious. I didn't really know what I was getting myself into. I just saw that it was the 4th most popular dating app in Canada, and I'm like, okay, cool. But turns out it's basically a hookup app and one that's heavily geared towards couples, which I am not a couple. I am single, but I swiped 500 total times, with 100 of them being right swipes, and I got 0 matches. Not very good. Next.
Hold on. So he's from Canada and it's for couples. The curious. Wait, what? Is this poly? Sign me up.
Is Boo. The quality just wasn't there. I was swiping no constantly. And the whole thing is they try to push you towards a $234 lifetime membership, which is insane. But I was swiping no constantly. And the whole thing is they try to push you towards a $234 lifetime membership, which is insane. But I got no matches, so a big waste. Now, Hilly, I did get 1 match, but then I clicked on it and then the screen pops up trying to get me to pay. Just horrible. And the last of this tier 3 is Plenty of Fish. And unfortunately, like, they used to be the main one. It used to be pretty solid. I had dozens of dates on it when I was single in my very early 20s. But I was going through it and I saw so many profiles, like 90% of them looked like they were just AI generated photos. And I'm like, okay, this is obviously just full of bots and whatever. But then I went to my profile and I saw my pictures and they looked AI generated as well. And I realized it's something they do to your pictures, to your photos. I think it's just the compression to save space or whatever. But it looks so bad. I actually have a picture of it. I'll show you right here. It just kind of looked dead in the eyes. It has that like plasticky, AI looking face. And yeah, so dumb. If I wasn't actually just like testing it, I would have uninstalled it immediately. I don't know.
I ain't gonna lie. You look better that way. I'm not gonna hold you. You look a little bit better that way. AI look good on you, my guy. But Plenty of Fish? Woo! I got a homeboy that swears by Plenty of Fish, but that guy is... He gets around, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Tupac, I get around. Round and round, round. I don't know. I don't think Plenty of Fish is somebody who's looking for a serious relationship.
I don't know why they're doing that. Now let's get into tier 2, and these gave me at least one match. And the first one is match, and I gave out 50 likes, but I had to swipe 450 times. That's not really worth it. The crowd is a little bit older on match, which might be relevant or not to you. OkCupid was next. Technically not terrible. It's the only app that allows you to filter by body type, which is interesting. But by default, they don't prioritize people nearby, which is really dumb. And as you can see, I got over 99 likes, like almost instantly. I don't do that well. I might get like a dozen for a brand new account. And I'm pretty sure like almost all those are bots anyway. Now here's Badoo, nothing special as well. And by the way, if you care, I'll have a table at the end of this comparing all of them together. Now let's get into what's actually worthwhile. So the biggest surprise was Coffee Meets Babe. I didn't expect this to do anything because if I go to SimilarWeb, it doesn't show it as a very popular app. But I got I sent 256 total likes. And that came to 2 matches, which is actually better than Tinder or Bumble. And how it works is a little bit differently. Basically, you get like 25 or 27 total profiles each and every day. You can like every single one if you want, or you can dislike all of them. You won't get penalized for it. And it was like 90% Asians. I don't know if just a lot of Asians just happen to gravitate towards there, although I am in Vancouver. It is already pretty diverse here, so that might matter. So yeah, it's slower overall, but it's definitely worth trying. I'm going to keep it installed on my phone.
I mean, there's Asians on the actual advertisement. There's 2 Asians people holding hand. Obviously, this app is for Asians.
And I'd love to hear if you're actually getting any results on it. Next is Tinder, a little over 300 swipes per match, which is pretty average, but you can swipe a lot more on Tinder versus a lot of apps, especially like Boo. I only sent like 50 or 60 or whatever, but it took me like 2 weeks to do because there wasn't a lot of people on it, and the people that were on it weren't really, for me, for a lack of a better word. Next is Bumble, 380 total swipes, got me 2 matches, which is decent. One thing I like about Bumble is the Discover page is actually pretty decent. It's kind of like Hinge's standouts, but you don't have to pay with roses. And on top of that, Bumble actually does a pretty good job at integrating your likes into your regular feed. Pretty much every other app doesn't do this, or at least not to the same degree. Like if you're like swiping, then suddenly you swipe right on somebody and then you get an instant match just because they had already liked you. That happens reasonably often on Bumble, or at least if you swipe no, it'll say, oops, you missed a match, and it tries to get you to pay or whatever. But finally, it's kind of a tier 0 because it's so much better than every other app, maybe an S tier, but it's Hinge. And total 200 swipes got me 4 matches, which was 50 right swipes. It's going to be better for pretty much everybody, better algorithm, less bots. And there's things that you can do, like your bio, which actually matters versus other apps. It just doesn't make a huge difference. Like people actually do read your prompts on Hinge. So if you know how to write them, it makes a noticeable difference. Then you can also have voice prompts, you can have video prompts, and all these other things. And it's also the only app that actually allows you to view your likes for free. You have to do one at a time, but you know, who the hell cares? I mean, it's not like, as guys, we get a lot anyways. But you can view likes in a free version. No other app does that. And on top of this, I just find my standards to be higher on Hinge as well. So it's even a little bit better than what it says on paper. But here is the full comparison across all the apps.
Hey yo, real quick, I ain't gonna hold you. I like Hinge. Bumble is cool, but I like Hinge is actually a pretty good, cause you know, I've been on a few dates on Hinge. Haven't done it in a very long. I haven't been on a dating app in a very long time. But my favorite would have to be Hinge, and honestly, he hasn't said this, but Facebook dating. Surprisingly, Facebook dating is actually pretty good. I ain't gonna hold you. It's a lot of older women on Facebook dating. It's a lot of older women, like, you know what I mean? But hey, sugar mamas. Huh? I don't know. I don't know. I just think that when it comes to these dating apps, number one, I do think it matters who you are. Like, and when I mean that, I mean like, are you black? Are you white? Are you Asian? Are you a man? Are you a woman? I think it depends. You know, are you gay? You know, straight? I think those things matter. So like, if you're a black guy watching this is a white dude talking about his dating experiences on dating apps, and he also lives in Canada. So if you're in America, your experiences might be a little bit different. It might be a tad bit different. I'm just saying. Coffee meets bagel. Never heard of that, but I like the name. OK Cupid. I've seen like, you know, like advertisements for OK Cupid, but never really dealt with it. And Plenty of Fish just seem like that's not people that's looking for nothing serious. Moral of the story: I need to start a dating app. I need to start a dating app. They can't be the only one making money. I need to start one. That's what I need to do. Gamify something. You know what I mean? Prey on lonely men. No, I'm joking. But god dang, I've been saying it for a while. I have been saying, yo, there's no way that these, like, why would they want to get you married? You know what I mean? Whatever happened to eHarmony? Remember those? You know the eHarmony? I feel like, yo, they had commercials for eHarmony. Not on social, commercials on TV. Remember that? Remember eHarmony? Guys, tell me what you think, man. This is Eddie Colson, man. I think I'm gonna leave the videos in the description below of the reaction videos to see what y'all thought. And what is your favorite dating app? What is your favorite? Is there a favorite dating app, or you know, like, you know, do you just go on social? I think honestly, it's better just to like, if you're gonna do that whole thing, man, just slide in the DMs. If you don't want to meet somebody in person, just slide in the DMs. The whole rose thing is hilarious, man. I don't know if they do this everywhere, but there's always a dude in Baltimore at Fells Point handing out roses to people, trying to get people to buy roses for women. It is nuts. It is nutty. Guys, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Peace.